G'day, ZiggyD here, and today I want to give you a bit of an update on my progress in Invasion League. That's right, I'm still alive in Invasion League. Currently level 64 on Knifey Spoony D, my EK Shadow, which is the recreation of my EK Scion from the previous Nemesis League. After a few untimely deaths, I've remade this character, and progression has been going really well. I've been leveling the entire time using EK, and it's been pretty solid. It's been pretty solid, despite, you know, struggling with gearing a bit, and, you know, struggling with the invasion bosses being absolutely brutal. I'm continuing my progress, and pretty soon, probably my next streaming day, I'll be pushing forward into Act 3 Merciless and pushing towards Endgame. So it's going reasonably well. But I've learned some pretty interesting things, and I want to share them with you guys today. So in this video, I kind of want to talk about farming Invasion League safely, because at some point you're going to have to do it. You're going to have to like stop your normal progression and actually do some farming. And knowing how to actually farm Invasion League safely is a little different to what we're used to just with Hardcore League. There's a few extra sort of things to watch out for. Firstly, just a pretty recent change is that the zombies in Fellshrine drop Chaos Clouds. So if you're farming in Fellshrine, watch out for that one. That's just a little side note there. But in general, I've made some interesting decisions in terms of Invasion League. The bosses are by far the most dangerous thing. That's pretty obvious. I think people are now getting to grasp the fact that the bosses are pretty one-shot still in some instances, and otherwise just very extremely dangerous. And all of my deaths have been to invasion bosses, and I'm sure probably the majority of your deaths in this league will be to invasion bosses as well. So we need to watch out for them. We need to know what's going on. So I actually skipped farming ledge entirely. Usually I would farm ledge a little bit, and even if I was pretty poorly geared, but I knew that Act 1 in general is pretty safe to get through in Merciless. Like, you can go all the way through Act 1 with low resist, just sort of by playing mechanically well and avoiding, you know, the dangerous mobs and dangerous zones and stuff like that. So I just like cleared straight through Act 1 really quickly. You know, went to Mervale, had a bit of a tough fight with Mervale. Brutus was easy because he's just a physical boss that's very mechanical. You can still avoid him, just be careful of the desync. But I basically progressed much quicker than I might have otherwise, simply because I did not want to farm ledge. Ledge is the perfect example of something you don't want to do in Invasion League. Usually ledge is like the safest zone in the game to farm. Like, if you want the safest, most kind of, you know, linear, cruisy zone to farm, ledge is the place to do. But not in Invasion League. What happens when you're farming a place like ledge is it's pretty narrow, there's not too much room to maneuver, and it's a straight shot, meaning you're guaranteed every time you refresh the zone to encounter the invasion boss. Now, invasion boss, you know, you have to kind of just accept the fact that it's about knowing when to run away. Now, there are some bosses that you can pretty safely fight, depending on your character, and I estimate that about 25% of bosses I find pretty safe to fight. There's others that I can do, but I don't really want to do, it's too much of a risk. And then the rest of them are just like avoid, and then there's some that are like instant, like TP out of there, like just get out of there, reset the zone, not worth it. So Fellshrine puts you into Fellshrine and other similar zones like City of Sun. I'm actually going to be skipping over City of Sun as quickly as possible. Puts you into I'm really paying attention to those bears coming out there. Puts you into dangerous situations much more often than what you should probably be if you're trying to stay alive in Fellshrine. It's in Invasion League. So basically, what I'm doing now is actually something I'm not too pleased with. So what I'm going to do is actually go this way and head upwards, because heading down is a bad idea when you don't know what invasion boss is sort of coming. So in other words, farming something that's quick and lots of refreshes like Fellshrine or like City of Sun is going to put you at much more risk, and I've seen a lot of people dying in these zones as a result, because you encounter the boss, it's in a narrow area, and you don't have many options to escape. You have to basically log out, and if you get surprised by them or something like that, then you're in a bad situation. Now, Fellshrine, on the other hand, I think is a good example of something that's much safer to farm in this league. Basically, Fellshrine is a large open area. There's plenty of room to maneuver. You can make sure that you're heading in a good direction. So, for example, I was just heading down, and it was getting to the point where I'm heading too far down. I can't really see what's coming. I don't want to get off screen killed by a boss. So I've readjusted my direction now. I'm heading up towards the top left, where I'm utilizing all of this vision here to try and really pay attention to what's coming. Even though this map happened to spawn with me moving downwards, I'm trying to take advantage of the fact that I have the room in Fellshrine to maneuver up towards the left and, you know, really know what's coming, get a good idea of what's coming. So Fell Shrine gives you the room to maneuver, and it's a big zone. You'll be farming like an instance of Fell Shrine for a very long time without resetting. What this means is if you do encounter the boss, you can safely kill it if it's a safely killable one. If it's a dangerous one, you can try and lose it. If it's one that you can't lose the tail, then you have to TP out. And either you have an option then, and I think probably the best option is to, after you TP out, you actually go back to the waypoint and enter the instance again, keeping in mind where the boss was, and simply farm the rest of the zone. Once you've discovered the boss in Fell Shrine, you can actually have like the rest of the instance as safe farming, like guaranteed safe farming. So that's pretty good to like. I really like that about zones like Fell Shrines. This will be the same as Docks as well. I reckon Docks will be great to farm. I'm not very keen on Catacombs. I think Lunaris will be good too. Although Lunaris is quite tight, there's a lot of areas you can maneuver around. You can use Lightning Orb to lose bosses by Lightning Orb over the different areas. So you can do the same thing. You can either TP out or you can Lightning Warp across some ledges and approach from a different angle. So for the most part, you're going to be pretty safe in those areas. There we go, bronze point. And I think that's probably the best way to approach these bosses. Like, know the boss, know where it is, and then get like once you've like, all right, check the box. I know where the boss is in this instance. I'm safe to farm now. Everywhere else but where the boss is. So that's kind of what you want to aim for. That's like the goal basically. So currently I'm farming this instance of Fell Shrine, and I don't know where the boss is. I haven't encountered the boss yet. So I'm playing much more carefully now. Like I'm playing very carefully now, just sort of slowly clearing packs. I don't want to trail packs into each other because fighting 2 packs is, as I read in a comment earlier today, is 1 pack's too many. So I'm seeing, as soon as I see an aura, I back off slightly to see what it is. I'm playing as careful as possible. A bit of Fizz Reflect, not too much of an issue with the Granite Flask there. Hey, we got, oh, Corruption. I don't think I have a Staunching Flask just yet. I just got, is that Pillar of the Caged God? I think that's Pillar of the Caged God. GG. That's a high enough eye level to be a 6-linkable too, isn't it? So that's pretty cool. There we go, you get a bit of a unique drop on the video. Usually they're a bit camera shy. So, as I'm saying, I'm being careful now. Now here's what you want to do for like avoiding being one-shot by bosses that you don't take notice. Because pretty much every invasion kill that I've seen from bosses has been people not realizing the boss is there. So there's a lot of different things to look out for. Firstly, in the recent patch, they were made more noticeable, more visually distinct. So the units themselves depending on the zone you're in, can be pretty easy to see. If it's a bit of a messy looking zone, it can be a bit harder to see them. But for the most part, once they're actually on your screen, you should be able to pick them out as long as you're pretty aware of what's going on around you. So if you're YOLOing forwards and packs are chasing you, then you probably might not be able to pay attention too much. So I've full cleared this area. What I'm actually going to go back is go back into an area I've cleared and then kind of continue heading like somewhere upwards a bit. Alright, there's a mob there. I didn't realize those were there. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is keep an eye out for mob types that aren't natural to the zone. The boss will always spawn with a group of minions that are somehow related to the boss or a part of like its entourage or are invading enemies in some way. So, for example, these skeletal bears here are not a natural occurrence in this zone, typically. They're pretty common now, it seems like, but they're not meant to be here. So whenever I see these guys, I'm like, okay, the invasion boss, the bear evasion boss, could be with those guys. So whenever I see them, I want to make sure I get a good angle on them. I make sure I'm heading up if possible, and make sure I see what's going on. So that's the number one thing to look for. The other thing is auras. So keep an eye out for those auras. If you see like mobs with 2 auras, especially always be cautious when you see a pack with 1 aura. But if you see a pack with 2 auras, it's almost guaranteed to be a boss. It's very rare that 2 rares will spawn right on top of each other with 2 different auras. So the bosses, some of them, however, do have 2 different auras. So you want to watch out for those. And the final thing is just make sure that you're not heading downwards. Like, if you can avoid it. So this is unfortunate because this zone spawned facing downwards, so I have to be pretty careful heading downwards, making sure that I'm not sort of, you know, getting myself into a little bit of a bad situation, or at least making sure I have a good escape route and a Quicksilver at the ready if I do run into something. So I haven't encountered the boss yet, which means this whole instance of farming this zone has been a bit more tense than it could have been. I kind of like encountering it early and then getting away from it, and where I've been right, alright, the boss is over there, I got the rest of the zone to have fun. But not the case in this time, unfortunately, so I'm just being very aware that I need to be cautious. But otherwise, I'm taking advantage of the size of Fell Shrine and kind of almost full clearing, like jumping from pack to chest, things like that. Doing kind of old school Fell Shrine clearing rather than just clearing the road. You don't want to. You want to be doing less refreshes if possible, especially once you discover the boss. Use that time to kind of that safety time, that grace period to to continue farming in safety. But yeah, I've had a lot of near misses. I actually had one invasion boss in here was a bandit boss. You want to watch out for that one. He throws a bear trap, pretty long range, and it almost one-shot me as well. I got down to like 100 or 200 health, and that was a near off-screen bear trap. But if I had sort of been playing a little bit more cautiously, being a bit more aware, and like keeping an eye out the edges of my screen for those auras and things like that, then I might have been able to sort of back off when I saw that happening. I thought I saw something down the bottom right. Yeah, I saw that there, so I made sure to head left, but it was just another rare mob. I'm encountering a lot of rare bears. I'm wondering if the boss will be the invasion boss bear, basically the bear boss. I think that might be the case. And endurance charges. But invasion's actually a lot of fun. I make it sound terrible, but it's actually, I kind of like this. I like the tension of it. I like the risk. I like how many people are dying. It's pretty exciting, and the close calls. Man, it's pretty stressful. Like, I have some severe heart racing moments, and like sometimes I just need to like take a break for a little while because it's so intense. So people see me have like a near miss, and just be like, all right, guys, I'm just gonna kind of have to sit here for a moment. So it's pretty funny. I want to try not to like get yourself caught in little areas like that. Like, I don't really want to run into the ruins in case the boss is there and I get stuck against a wall or something like that. If it's one of the speed, one of the really fast moving ones, like the teleport snake or something like that, then you don't want to be sort of stuck against a wall or something like that. So I'm going to continue clearing left here for the rest of this Fell Shrine instance, since I get pretty good vision left, and I can I can also see upwards to me as well, see if anything's coming from the upwards region of the screen. Just really take advantage of that camera angle as much as you can, and utilize those zones. So I'm thinking skip through Act 1 Merciless as fast as you can in terms of like endgame progression. Skip through Act 1 Merciless as fast as you can. I wouldn't spend too much time farming in ledge. It's just asking for trouble. If you do, make sure you're really sort of like paying attention to things as you're moving forwards into them, and spend your time in your larger zones. I think Fell Shrine, maybe over farm in Fell Shrine, which is what I'm doing. Then try and just rush straight to dock. So skip the whole City of San thing. I don't think it's worth it. Don't think it's worth it at all. But anyway, as I said, I've been having a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys learned a few things here that might help keep you alive. And feel free to come stop by the stream for some more invasion action. It has been a blast and pretty exciting. Oh no, Arctic Leapers, my least favorite mob. Also, I haven't seen any other Arctic Leapers in the zone, but now I see one. This leads me to believe there may be a boss related to it just up here. So this is I could just like leave this pack, but I kind of want to get like visual confirmation that the boss is there, and there it is. There it is, exactly. See, identifying the fact that Arctic Leaper was there and I hadn't seen any others, I know that the boss is there. So boss is over here. Rest of the zone is cruisy to farm. I can go ham for the rest of it, basically. I can just Quicksilver like nuts now. I can even use my Lightning Warp as mobility now, because I know the boss is there. Man, I got a heart race just then. Those things are scary. Those things are scary. So really, I probably should have just like been like, all right, that was enough confirmation without seeing him. But I made sure to get the actual hardcore visual confirmation, and just making sure I don't duck back down to him. So I can farm the rest of this zone. But that's it for now. I'm ZiggyD. Whoa! I'm ZiggyD. And thanks for watching.